This goes. Okay, we're live. It's not Memorex. This is live. So here we are, the mind-body connection.
Oh,
He's the body, and I'm the mind.
I'm the body connection. Right. For integrative medicine and related topics. And Mark?
Yeah. What do you want?
Your focus is mind related.
Oh yeah, I speak about the mind and how the mind is connected to the body. And we would put the spirit in there, but we don't have any priests hanging around right now, do we?
I
Mind,
don't think
body,
so.
spirit?
Oh, there's some spirits, but no priests.
Okay. So here we are in beautiful Rush Lake. It's Memorial Day weekend, 2018. Beautiful, warm,
But a little bit hot,
actually
as
hot.
far as that goes. So definitely have to be watchful for heat stroke and related things. So you have to be careful. Make sure you stay hydrated, and
Yes.
preferably with water rather than anything with alcohol in it, which can actually do just the opposite.
Well, alcohol would dehydrate you, right? So would coffee.
It can. Coffee to a certain extent too, although coffee's probably a better choice as far as that goes.
You mean preferred over alcohol?
Over alcohol, sure. Yeah.
see.
Electrolyte solutions might have something to offer them, but water is probably as good a choice as any. But you certainly want to be careful exercising in extreme heat, especially if you have any medical conditions. You've got high blood pressure, you're on medications, that can get you into trouble more easily. You want to be careful. You have any type of heart disease, you want to be really cautious about exercising and really doing a lot of sweating. In temperatures above 80 degrees or so.
Especially if you're a novice with exercise.
Yep, that's true. So you want to, take it slow, and you might want to keep a close eye on your heart rate and be a little careful with that. Depending on your age, it's pretty safe to go 20, 30 beats above your resting heart rate, but unless you're a good athlete, you may not want to go too much above that until you get into better shape.
Now, what is the resting heart rate? I mean, is that the pulse rate right when you wake up in the morning, or what?
Well, your resting heart rate is just your heart rate when you're really not doing anything. You're not asking your body to do anything. So if you were sitting for 5 minutes or so and you took your heart rate, that would be your resting heart rate. So for the average person, it's about 60 to 80, that general range. If you're on medications, for instance, you're on beta blockers, because you've got a heart problem, your resting heart rate might be in the 50s or so. But you can use that as the basis to increase your heart rate. So if you say your resting heart rate is 70 and you want to exercise, if you can get your heart rate into the 90s or even 100, that would be good. We used to have an old rule that still is reasonable to follow for people who are in reasonably good shape, and that's that you take 220 minus your age, and you take 80% of that, and use that as your absolute maximum heart rate. Above that rate, probably no great advantage from a cardiovascular point of view, but if you get anywhere close to that, then you're doing pretty good, really. So if you're 60, for instance, then you take 220 minus the 60, and then you take 80% of that, basically. So 80% of 160, so you're looking in the 130s or so to get your heart rate up if you're in reasonably good shape.
Right. And beta blockers, you say, can sometimes lower
yeah,
heart
it's
rate
pretty
too.
tough for somebody who's on a pretty good dose of certain blood pressure medications. It's going to be pretty tough to get your heart rate up that fast, especially if you've just recently taken your medication. So it'd be better to use just the 20 to 30 beats per minute above your resting heart rate for people in that circumstance, and that's still going to give you a pretty good cardiovascular workout. So that's great for your heart, and it can accomplish a lot of things. But you don't want to forget the resistance side of things either. You definitely want to maintain muscle mass as you get older, especially because that's really where you have your reserve in times of stress. So at least once a week you want to do something that pushes or pulls against a force. So that force could just be your body, like yoga, for instance, or it
Dynamic
could be
tension, Charles Atlas.
Yeah, yep, very similar idea. That would be fine. You know, the old-fashioned lifting weights works quite well too. Swimming, where you're pushing against water, bicycling, where you're pushing against the pedal. So, you know, there's a lot of different things you can do that could be part of the resistance training.
Now, I heard something about swimming and weight loss. That kind of confused me. Because you don't sweat when you're in the water, that you're not going to lose weight if you're a swimmer. Is that true?
Well, the metabolic effects aren't quite as strong. It's still very, very healthy for you. So from a cardiovascular point of view, it's great. You know, the truth is that exercise is not a great way to lose weight. When you really look at the total number of calories burned for any given exercise activity, it's disappointingly small, really, when you figure it out. So the truth is, if your real goal is weight loss, you really have to do that in the kitchen. You know,
I knew you were going to say that.
It's really about nutrition. It's not really about exercise. Not that it's not important, and you want to do both, but you know, there's an old saying in bodybuilding that biceps are made in the gym and abs are made in the kitchen. So really, you know, to lose weight and to look, you know, sculpted like that, it really requires a very strict diet.
Well, I'm hoping too in a future podcast that we talk about the mental benefits of exercise, regular exercise. I mean, the effects of elevating a depressed mood, a way to channel anxiety. It's a nice sublimation of channeling it in a positive way. And exercise is pretty much like a positive addiction, but not that many people participated on a regular basis. It's just the same people you see at the gym almost every week.
Yep, that's absolutely true. There are a lot of other side benefits. It raises testosterone levels. It can improve sexual performance. There are definitely a world of benefits, and we can certainly talk about that next time.
Well, I know some people who are in their 50s who have the testosterone levels of a guy in their 20s.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's right there. There's proof in the pudding.
That's right. I'm sure that's you.
Well, formerly me. I could do better.
Okay. So we'll see you next time on our podcast.
The Mind-Body Connection, the Mind-Body Forum.
Yeah. Till next time.
Till next time. Bye-bye.